Hello there, my name's David Walker. I'm a professional artist. I've been painting watercolours now for 35 years. I'm based in North Wales in the UK. Now, this series of paintings going along at the side there, they're all painted just using 7 colours in my 7 colour palette. And this video or series of videos is to explain to you how they work on the paper and why I use them. I'm using Bockingford paper, by the way. It's £140 watercolour paper, really good quality paper. Okay, so these are like I said, the paintings at the side there are all ones that I've done over the years, and here they are. Now, the Winsor and Newton Cotman range, which is like they used to call it the student paints. And I think these are more than enough to use as a beginner artist. And even I've been painting 35 years, and these are what I use. They're a third of the price of the artist colours, and I feel they work just as well. And this is Payne's Grey, and they're in 8 millilitre tubes. I always use tubes as opposed to cans because, well, you'll see when I'm mixing them on the plate shortly. I use Payne's Grey, Ultramarine, which is the blue, Alizarin Crimson, which is my red, Raw Sienna, which is like a nice yellowy brown, Burnt Sienna, which on the tubes looks quite similar, but it's completely different colour. It's like a reddy brown, Raw Umber to mix my browns with, and Lemon Yellow. Now they're the only colours that I've used in all these pictures you can see going by. Now, if you want to buy other colours such as green, black, white, I would suggest that you try painting acrylics if you want to use those colours, because in watercolour you must have heard of the transparency of watercolour, and the reason for that is because we put very light washes on and we use the paper itself as the white, and we use masking fluid if we, in certain cases where we've got highly detailed things, we use this so that the white paper shows through at the end. Or when we're painting, we always bear in mind that the paper has to be left white where we want whites. As for black, well, the Payne's Grey. Let's start with Payne's Grey. We'll put these aside. So to do the demo, I've got this 15mm flat brush, and I've put a little bit of the Payne's Grey. And the discussion was not to use black. So I'll start here. And Payne's Grey, if we mix it very lightly, is a lovely grey. And then if we mix it a little bit darker, it's a darker grey. Now, I can drag that across and make it as light as I want using water. And by adding more paint and water this way, I can make it darker and darker. And if I need a black in my paintings, basically this is what I use. But it's very rare that I go that dark, unless it's a team's colours, and the shadows are black as black. But you see the range there from black through to grey. Okay, so that's why you don't need a black the blacks just tend to deaden everything. Similar with white, you know, if you start putting white onto anything, you lose the liveliness of the colour in my mind. This is all my opinions, by the way. I know lots of people who like to use white paint, but personally, I don't think it's a good idea. So this is the, let's find it again, the Payne's Grey, Cotman, Winsor & Newton, student colours basically. And you can see, I'm sure you can see there, the textures that I'm getting with these paints. All right. And the next colour, we use alizarin crimson, which is my red. You can see I've virtually finished this tube. But you can keep on, this is another reason I like to use tubes, you can keep on squeezing them and squeezing them and get the last bit out of it, and it's still useful colour. And we'll do the same thing. Nice light pink at that point. You drag that across and it can go lighter and lighter, then go a little bit darker. Darker again. Now you see that's skimmed across the colour and left some little specks of white. That's a nice texture to use as opposed to masking tape. Sorry, masking fluid. So that's my red. Now, if I start adding that red into this Payne's Grey, what happens is the red and the grey mix and produce all sorts of colours, but not only that, they produce textures as well. And because I've only used these 7 colours for most of my career, I can pretty well predict what they're going to do. So if I need these textures, I'm straight into it. And then the other way, adding Payne's Grey into the alizarin crimson, you get a similar effect, of course, but it's different again. Yeah. Now, while this Payne's Grey now is this block of black, if you like, if I just drop a little bit of clean water into that,